To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we give thanks for the democracy alive in our country and for the freedom to worship you. Help the elected government and all in positions of power and authority to govern wisely and for the common good of all. Amen.
All right, we will begin with roll call. Mr. Resnick?
Here.
Okay, Mr. Braun is excused. Chair is here. Ms. Borelli? Here. Mr. Gorman?
Here.
Mr. Cannon?
Here.
Mr. Swan?
Here.
Mr. Fagioli?
Here.
Now we have citizens' participation. If anyone would like to come up and comment on items from tonight's agenda, please give your name and address at the mic. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the May 21st, 2025 council meeting.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Fagioli seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Now we have reports of the borough officers. First is the financial advisor.
Thank you, Madam President. You all have received the reports as of yesterday. I did have to give you guys another report for some more checks that I had to cut this afternoon.
Any questions for the financial advisor? All right. I'll entertain the motion to accept the financial advisor's report and pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Mr. Fagioli made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Gorman seconded. We'll do a roll call. Mr. Resnick? Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Fagioli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Hit the AC.
Please make sure your mics are turned on.
Yeah, use mine.
Yeah, tell me.
Is that better?
Hit the AC.
Is that better?
AC button. Right behind you.
Okay.
It's the air conditioner. Come on. There we go. Let's make it quick.
Is this better? Okay. All right. Now we have the police chief's report.
In addition to my prepared report, Madam President, just advising council that this Saturday we will be holding our civil service testing procedures for entry-level positions in the police department. Hopefully by next council meeting or shortly there before, I'll be able to give council a list of candidates suitable for consideration.
Any questions for the chief? All right. I'll entertain a motion to accept the police chief's report.
So moved.
All right. Mr. Cannon made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Gorman seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we have the fire chief's report.
If you have already submitted, I don't have
Good.
anything else to add to that.
The chief is on vacation.
We gave him one.
We gave him a week off.
That's a few days.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
I'd rather have it.
Thanks for coming tonight.
Done a great job.
Just one question. How many ambulances do we have operating right now?
One.
Is the second one still under repair?
It is going through the insurance of trying to get it. One is operational.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to accept the fire chief's report.
So moved.
Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Mr. Resnick second. All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Engineers report.
Thank you, Madam President. The sanitary sewer cleaning project contract, AU Services has informed us that they plan on completing the sewer cleaning early this summer. However, they have had some equipment problems, so we are waiting to hear from them for the start date. The school construction, we continue to monitor the site construction and off-site construction. The 2025 road program bid opening was today. We received 5 bids. I recommend that the contract is awarded to Innovative Construction Services of Fallcroft for the base bid amount of $191,340.75. And attached to the engineer's report, there's a spreadsheet which is almost impossible to read because of the font is so small, but that's the bid results. The road program should be awarded tonight.
Okay.
Because it's June, and you have to meet a time frame, a deadline by the end of June.
To meet the new county regulations.
Exactly, correct.
I can pick that up under my influence.
Okay, so do you want me to make a motion now, or do you want,
You do it under my.
Okay. all right, we'll do it under manager's report, all right?
I think it's important to note, JP, those bids, that was a good bid price.
Very
191.
good. It's a very good bid, and we're familiar with this contractor, and he's done work in the borough before and other surrounding communities before. And then lastly, I think you'll Mr. Mikosi, you'll talk about the grants that we have received for Springfield Road, but attached to the engineer's report is a rendering of what's included within those grants. And I think John has it ready for the big screen. And that's all I have unless there's questions.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Kelly? All right, I will entertain a motion to accept the engineer's report.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Mr. Fagioli made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cannon seconded. All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we have the solicitor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. A few informational items. Just to bring council up to date on the status of the properties at 9 to 11 and then 15 to 17 East Baltimore Avenue. This is a former sewing machine shop. We have, over the last few years, been on and off with the owner of the property regarding his plans for it. We've had at least 2 zoning hearings where he's requested relief, and various other code enforcement matters as the owner does work, doesn't get permits, doesn't get approvals or anything like that. So we have had a somewhat difficult relationship there. He does have an attorney now, Tim Sullivan, a very well-known land use attorney. Mr. Gould and I were in court a month ago now, and the judge requested that Mr. Sullivan and I meet to discuss what was going on in plan uses. I'm happy to report that we were able to have that meeting. I think it was somewhat productive. I'll follow up with Mr. Gould and Mr. Mikosi. But I hesitate to say, but I start to see glimmers of hope, that the proposed uses are within what's allowed by the zoning ordinance, and that the owner, is looking to cooperate with the borough at this point in time. So I think that's positive news. We do have a zoning hearing scheduled for June the 24th, I believe, here at 7:00. An application submitted by the owner at 500 Broadway. This is for, if you're familiar with the property, there's a little white building that's towards the front, closest to the street. And that has been rehabilitated. The request is to use it as a sort of coffee shop and coffee beanery. I don't, Mr. Gould, whether I'm describing it the right way.
So the building in the front you described would be used for as a coffee shop with serving breakfast sandwich bagels, things like that. Then back further on the property, used by right there in the industrial district, is a coffee roastery proposed that does not need any zoning relief for that use.
So the request to use the front part needs a special exception use, so they are scheduled for that. Like I said, this coming June the 24th for anybody that's interested. And then finally, just wanted to report, I think at last month's meeting, we did get council's authorization to enter an agreement with the fire company and with STAT Inc., which is the provider of the ambulance staffing for the Clifton Heights ambulance now. We had additional discussions with the fire company. As you will also recall, part of what we were asking for was the authority to enter into an agreement to loan $300,000 to the fire company as startup costs for this new venture. The fire company did some further due diligence and evaluation. They decided that they would be able to do it on their own. So we did revise that agreement further to make it an agreement between the fire company and STAT. I believe they've entered into that agreement by this point in time.
That's correct.
And they have been operating since May the 2nd. So that part of it, in terms of loaning money, we were not required to do that. So right now, the agreement is just between the fire company and STAT, with the borough, providing what it has always provided in the past, to the fire company. So they're up and running. Unfortunately, as he alluded to, there was an accident involving the first ambulance, I'll call it, the better ambulance, where it was hit head on. Thankfully, there weren't serious injuries, but this occurred while it was on a call on Garrett Road in Upper Darby, down near the Upper Darby Municipal Building. So as was stated, we're awaiting the insurance adjusting on there to see what will happen. I mean, we're kind of in that situation. People recognize it as, are they going to total my car or not? Are they going to pay to fix it? That's where we are right now. But there was backup ambulance, and the second ambulance, and that is the ambulance being used at this point in time. And that's all I have to report at this time, Madam President.
Any questions for Mr. McLean? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the solicitor's report.
So moved.
Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
Mr. Fagioli made the seconded. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Community development and code enforcement.
Thank you, Madam President. I do not have any additions to my prepared report this evening.
Any questions for Mr. Gould tonight? I'll entertain a motion to accept community development and code enforcement report.
So moved.
Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Swan seconded. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Managers report.
Thank you, Rich. I'm going to move item 1 to the third one. The first motion I'm going to make is a motion to authorize the purchase of playground equipment from Burke's Play Recreation Resources, Kent Square, PA, which is a CoStarz purchasing agreement in the amount of $85,190 FOB delivered to Diamond Street Park, subject to solicitor's approval of the contract. Bruce, as you know, we had a caucus discussion on buying one for about $180,000. I was a little skeptical of some of the pricing, particularly the installation was like $50,000, where we've already done a lot of the work ourselves preparing. We were heading to the Boroughs Conference, and at the Boroughs Conference, they have over 100 vendors there. There was like 4 or 5 vendors there, so I let the council people that are there go at it with them. And then they did a good job because we ended up with a price of $85,190. So they did. So Bruce and John, or whoever wants to, Bruce, want to bring it up and talk about the vendor.
The playground was supposed to be started by now, but as Tom says, the pricing was way high. I didn't think it was going to be that high. So we discussed it. All three of us discussed. We'll say at the conference, we'll go around because they have vendors there and we'll ask them. And that's what happened. And we got another bid there too, and that guy was a little high. And then finally, this guy came in with his pricing. And it's nice equipment. It's good. It's everything we want to get started with right now. So it should work out really good.
He's right, King of Prussia as well. So it's close, not somebody from, Kalamazoo. Okay, so that'd be a motion.
So I will entertain a motion to authorize the purchase of playground equipment from Burke's Play Recreation Resources, Kennett Square, PA, CoStarz, in the amount of $85,190 for Diamond Street Park.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Cannon made the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Fagioli seconded. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Resnick?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Fagioli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, the next 2 items we have is the first one, I'd like to talk about a grant application. The second one will be to start a KPM project. John could bring up what we have here is. So we've been able successfully over the last 3 years to bring approximately $5.8 million into the borough. Majority of that money, somewhere around the $3.4 million, 3.5, is what they call multimodal transportation funding, which deals with transportation, improving a business district, drainage, sidewalks, curbs, safety. It's a gamut of issues. So we have applied to Baltimore Pike because of the new school, north up Springfield Road to Oak Avenue, east and west on Oak, north and south on Oak, intersections. And over the years, we've got that. We're about ready to start. And the north side of Springfield Road on the east side from the Yummies up to Sycamore is not included in the project, the school. We battled that out. PennDOT has come to us and said, apply to add it to yours, to add in multimodal in November when it opens up. The problem we're having with our grant people, JP, myself, is we're talking about different sections. So we've sat down and we've broken it down into a color-coded start because we need to start with the first grant, which was 1.3 million. All drainage projects start at the bottom and work their way to the top. So we'll be starting on the first project will be a KPM, a Keystone project purchasing system, which is similar to what we did here in the Borough Hall. That's a approved purchasing. And we select the vendors from there and then they award the contracts out. So we'll be knocking out the 2 South Springfield Road house and then putting a parking lot there with storm detention, carrying the water that sometimes flows across in the heavy storms across Baltimore Pike. We're going to capture that and put an underground detention system in there to stop a little bit of sheet flow coming down Springfield Road. From there, we'll pick up, and that's on the, I don't know if the colors can be picked up there or not. Yeah, that's a phase 1. The phase 2 will take it north at the monument, above the monument where the curb and sidewalks are new. Go north up there and come up Springfield Road on the west side, up to Sycamore. That'll be curb, sidewalk, and inlets. And then the third phase goes north of that even further from Sycamore up to Oak Avenue. And then the final phase that we're applying for will be coming back down and doing the east side of North Springfield Road at Yummies. And then the overlay, after it's all done, like they're doing on Bishop Avenue, repave it and the whole corridor will look brand new. Some of the challenges are a lot of those curbs and sidewalks are flat. Some of the people have garages, which is like right up against it to the sidewalk. Some modifications to some of the steps because the steps are now at elevation. So when you start playing with that, you may be 2 steps into somebody's yard. But that's the money we have. JP made good estimates on it. So we're going to start that project. We have it out for KPM. What I'd like to do first is put the motion to approve GSL, which is our grant writers, service agreement for additional multimodal application and administration of that for Baltimore Avenue and to Sycamore Avenue in the amount of $6,000. That would be the first motion. As you know, GSL has a contract with us now. We have a limit on how many we have. We've at that limit. All the grants that they were applying for are now being administered by them because they received every one. So this is one additional $6,000, and that comes with the applications and the administration if we're awarded. So awarded. That's the first motion.
So I will entertain a motion to approve the GSL Grant Success Lab Grant Services Agreement for additional multimodal application and administration for Baltimore Avenue to Sycamore Avenue in the amount of $6,000.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Cannon made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Gorman seconded. Can we do a roll call for this, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Resnick?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Fagioli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next is a motion to authorize entry into a KPM for phase 1 of multimodal at the intersection of Springfield Road and Baltimore Avenue. Includes the removal of 2 South Springfield Road and installation of an underground storm detention and parking lot. This is, Johnny will explain, this is us going to KPM and asking them to supply the pricing. This is not the approval of the project. We'll come back. Once we do that and it's approved, we'll negotiate with them. They will come back with a set price, working with JP, themselves and the contractors, and we'll have a total number. That's when we come in. Similar we did with the building here. First, we have to enter in the contract with them, and they'll go out and solicit the prices. So I don't know if Johnny want to read it.
Sure. So KP, it's actually KPN. It stands for Keystone Purchasing Network. What the Keystone Purchasing Network is a cooperative purchasing program that's been authorized by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. As our residents may know, typically, for a project over $21,000, you must seek competitive bids and bid it out, just like we did with our road program here this evening. And then you award it to the lowest responsible bidder. There are alternatives where you don't have to go through the competitive bidding process, but instead utilize the state-approved cooperative purchasing agreements. For instance, tonight, council authorized the purchase of the recreation equipment from Burke's Play Recreation Resource, and it was a great deal that we were able to identify them at the conference. But this would normally be something where you would need to go out to competitive bid because they're on what's called the CoStars, which is the largest one in the Commonwealth. They have already submitted their best price to the CoStars program, and municipalities are authorized to enter into a contract based on the CoStars price. So it sort of cuts out some of the red tape, so to speak, with the competitive bidding process. The Keystone Purchasing Network is similar for construction services. So what we're doing is, as Mr. McCosey said, we're not authorizing a contract tonight. We're not authorizing any money for it. But this would authorize us to go to the Keystone Purchasing Network, have an agreement with them where they would price it out, and they already have contractors, just like CoStars has vendors that are engaged and have unit prices, and they would be able to identify those that contractor for this job. So we can go and we can see if it's a price that we like, if it's a price that fits within the estimates that Mr. Kelly would give to us. And if it looks good, it would be brought to council for approval. If it doesn't look good, then we can go through the competitive bidding process.
Thank you, John. Entertain a motion.
So I will entertain a motion to authorize entering into KPN for Phase 1 of the multimodal at the intersection of Springfield Road and Baltimore Avenue, including the removal of 2 South Springfield Road and the installation of underground storm retention and parking.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I
I'll
have a second? Mr. Fagioli seconded it. Do you need a roll call for this?
Yes.
And we'll do a roll call. Mr. Resnick?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Fagioli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the final I left for, as you know, the ARPA funding was $737,000 to the borough back in 2022, 23 area. Over that term, they changed different models that you could use it for. Emphasis on community, they emphasized on infrastructure. We did pretty much the gamut. We bought a street sweeper, we did some trucking, we bought some police cars. First round, we gave $100,000 to 5 of the community organizations, with a second round of $100,000 at Bayance till we received, in case there was an emergency or something came up. But it was earmarked for the second 100,000 Thatch to be released at the last ending. We have reported to ARPA, the feds, that $100,000 will be released by July 1st. We put out solicitations to 5 of the organizations. 4 of them did apply, and we used the same criteria. It's pretty close to each of them. Council and the mayor sat down, and basically what we're going to do is just split the egg. We're going to put $25,000 each organization. It's the purpose to rejuvenate the organizations, keep them viable in the community, because if we lose organizations in the community, if you look across the county or across the state or across the country, volunteerism down, organizations, fraternal organizations are down, And if you look back at the fabric of communities that this town's been built up on, or any town, it all started, I grew up at a swim club at De La Salle. That's where I went every summer. I joined the Knights of Columbus. That was part of my family's, going there on Sunday afternoons. We joined the fire company. We did a lot of different things. American Legion when they came back from the war. Heritage, Italians, Polish, Irish, they're all here. So that's what the council really wanted to do at the end, is really, if we didn't have anything going on. Fortunately, we have a very conservative budget. Stella does a good job watching me and reminding me. Our department heads and things do really good. John does great on revenue. So we're fortunate in this community that we have that, to be able to reach out and help the people that keep our community strong. So tonight, there'll be, council will be issuing out checks for the Clifton Heights Italian American Association, the Clifton Heights Polish American Association, the Clifton Heights Fire Department, and Clifton Heights Swim Club. All of which, in discussions with their officers and looking at the paperwork that they submitted, all of which, I don't think anybody has not needed that money for some project or unexpected $90,000 roof, $50,000 pump, on and on, roof at the Polish Club, roof at the, air conditioning, just the infrastructure of their buildings and what it takes to keep those organizations going. So that's what we have tonight. So that would be, I guess, a form of a motion for the expenditures of the funds. And it's all subject to the review of the criteria, which they have all. There's one or two signatures I need just from somebody. They won't get the checks until they have the signatures.
All right. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the final distribution of ARPA funds in the amount of $100,000 to the second batch to the following recipients. Each will receive $25,000. Clifton Heights Italian American Citizens Association, Clifton Heights Polish American Citizens Association, Clifton Heights Fire Department, and Clifton Heights Swim Club. We'll do a roll call.
We will. And I'm sorry, Madam President, before we begin, I just want to remind council members, I would just advise, out of an abundance of caution, I don't recall what everybody's positions are or what they're members of or what they might be on the board of or anything like that. But should any council members be members or board members or employed by or, have some association with, any of the organizations that are the recipients of the grant, I would just, out of an abundance of caution, advise you to abstain from voting as for that organization. So I don't want to pick on, say, Mr. Gorman, but I think Mr. Gorman's a member of the fire department.
Yes.
So, in his situation, I'd say, if you wish to vote, yes or no, but state I abstain as to the fire department. We should note that. Pontarelli will note that in the minutes. If anybody else.
Okay.
Again, it's out of an abundance of caution. It doesn't give any sort of direct pecuniary benefit to anybody that is a member or even on the board. But like I said, out of an abundance of caution, I would just recommend that.
Okay. All right. So Mr. Resnick?
Yes.
All right. Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli?
Yes, but I abstain from the Polish American Citizens Association and the Clifton Heights Swim Club.
Okay. Mr. Gorman?
I'll vote yes, but I abstain on the fire company's portion.
Okay. Mr. Kennan?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes, but I abstain from the Clifton Heights Italian American Citizens Association.
Okay. And Mr. Fagioli?
Yes, but I abstain from Clifton Heights Italian American Club because I'm an officer.
All right. Motion carries. And then
So 3
we,
Italians and 1 Polish. That's pretty good.
and then we do the road program. Should I do a motion for that?
Yeah. Make a motion to adopt the 2025 road program to
Innovative construction.
Innovative Construction.
Okay. So I will entertain a motion to award the road program bid to Innovative Construction Services for the base bid of $191,340.75.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Fagioli seconded it. And Mr. Resnick?
Yes.
Okay. Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Sorry. Mr. Fagioli?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. All right. And any questions for the manager? Great, I will entertain a motion to accept the manager's report.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Gorman made the motion.
A second.
Mr. Swan seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we will move on to council reports. Mr. Swan?
I don't have anything at this time.
Okay. Mr. Resnick?
Nothing.
Mr. Fagioli?
Nothing.
Mr. Cannon?
I've been advised that the school project is on schedule. I did mention when I was told this that primarily the contractors that are there are union contractors, and that I would hope when the non-union merit contractors move on to the site that they can do the same type of work that's being done now and keep the whole project moving on schedule.
Mr. Cannon had a resolution that he wanted.
Oh, and there is a resolution that I had asked concerning SEPTA. And tonight, John, I take it I should read this, or Madam President, should I read this? Okay. Resolution number 2025, support public transportation funding. Whereas the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, SEPTA, ability to operate safe, frequent, reliable transit service is an invaluable, irreplaceable, and fundamental service for the Clifton Heights Borough community, for Clifton Heights local economy, and for the ability of Clifton Heights residents to move around southeastern Pennsylvania. And whereas SEPTA's role in our communities extends beyond transportation by providing an efficient alternative to car travel. SEPTA helps reduce air pollution, contributing to cleaner air and better health outcomes for our residents. Reliable public transit also ensures safe and accessible transportation for everyone, including our most vulnerable populations. And whereas SEPTA is a key driver of economic growth, a robust transit system attracts businesses, creates jobs, and stimulates local economies. It enhances the region's appeal to investors and supports workforce mobility, connecting people to jobs and opportunities, healthcare appointments, boosting productivity, and transports Clifton Heights residents as they commute to work and school. And whereas funding for SEPTA and other transit agencies in Pennsylvania has stagnated while costs have escalated, a situation that threatens to impose service cuts of up to 45% and fare increases of over 20% on SEPTA riders. And whereas these cuts would be devastating to the Clifton Heights community, eliminating routes serving the borough and fundamentally altering the everyday lives of countless Clifton Heights residents, workers, and business owners. And whereas Clifton Heights Borough believes it is vital to that the Pennsylvania governor and the General Assembly budget for transit and is committed to working together with our local, regional, and state partners to deliver solutions that serve our residents and businesses and improve our quality of life. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Clifton Heights Borough Council and Mayor strongly supports efforts to establish permanent, dedicated, sustainable, non-regressive funding sufficient to restore service for the entire SEPTA network, including the Media Wawa Regional Rail Line, the Route 102 Sharon Hill trolley, then the Route 109 bus, and ultimately to expand service and to achieve a frequent, safe, reliable system for all riders. Duly adopted this June 17th of June 2025 by the Borough Council of the Borough of Clifton Heights, County of Delaware, Pennsylvania.
Make a motion to adopt.
All right, Mr. Resnick made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cannon seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right. Motion carries. Anything else, Mr. Cannon?
No.
All right, Ms. Farrelly? Okay. All right, so I'm up. We had our movie night last Friday. We saw some returning faces as well as some new ones. It went very well. I would like to thank Rosati's Water Ice for donating water ice for all the kids who came out. And it was a great time. August 22nd, we're going to have another one. So hopefully people can come out. I also wanted to congratulate, it looks like over the last couple of days, the 12 and under and 10 and under girls softball teams won their championship games. So congratulations to them on that achievement. And that's all I have for this evening, Mr. Gordon.
I guess everybody has seen the news where that young lady lost her life in Aston Township over the weekend from the scooter accident. Parents, they need to be very well aware of the kids on them. I know on Oak Avenue, they come out of Crestwood, they come out of Upper Darby, Woodbridge, Wincliffe, and they are flying right now in front of cars. It's just, it's got disaster written all over it. This afternoon, there was an emergency vehicle coming on Oak from Crestwood, and somebody came right out of Woodbridge. And it's got disaster with all the trash trucks up and down Oak Avenue from Waste Management and the other traffic. Parents, keep an eye on your kids and just explain to them the risk. And also, if they could start wearing helmets like they do on bikes, that would be great. And that's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. First thing, I have a proclamation I'd like to read, celebrating Juneteenth. Whereas President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863, declaring that slaves in the Confederate territories free, paved the way for the passing of the 13th Amendment, which formally abolished slavery in the United States of America. And whereas word about the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation was declared 2.5 years to June 19th, 1985, and reaching authorities and African Americans in the South and Southwest United States. Whereas the date of June the 19th has become symbolic as a date of the journey of the African Americans to realize the promises made in the Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal and that all shall enjoy the rights of liberty. And whereas Clifton Heights strives to celebrate the rich diversity of the residents, which continually strengthens our community. Now, therefore, I, Mark J. Campbell, Mayor of the Borough of Clifton Heights, County of Delaware, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, do hereby declare June 19th, 2025 as Juneteenth in the Borough of Clifton Heights, and urge all citizens to become more aware of the significance of the celebration of the African American history and the heritage of our nation and borough. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the Borough of Clifton Heights to be affixed this 17th day of June 2025. Just a couple more reminders. So this Thursday, obviously, is Juneteenth, and there will be a celebration in Lansdowne I believe it starts at 10 o'clock, right around William Penn High School. Also, the very next day, June the 20th, just a little reminder, the first day of summer. If you've been watching the reports, next week, it's going to be close to 100 degrees. So any of our senior citizens, please, if they're on your street, let's take care of them, knock on the doors, see if they're okay. It's very important. Also, in July the 22nd is a Tuesday, we're having a blood drive right in this room, and that will be held from 2:00 PM to 7:00 PM. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you, Madam President.
All right, any old business?
I have, what did I did bring up? We will be issuing out the second check. Council, as you know, approved the 4th of July funding for the fireworks, being we don't have people to be able to park cars there because the site's closed. It'll be a view only. I just want to clarify, the flyer went out that is funding the fireworks and the parade. The funds are for the parade. Council was gracious enough to allocate money in the recreation fund this year. First year we did it out of ARPA. This year, we'll be issuing the second $10,000 check. It's $20,000 for the night. It's going to be a great show again as last year. Rock and I were surprised that we thought that they would do it, but the guy actually did it. You can see it all the way through Clifton, and it was a very spectacular. We have the same crew coming out with the same people. A couple questions about rain dates. It's almost impossible to get a rain date when you have the 4th of July. We can be further out, but he's booked for like 2 weeks ahead of time because of the country celebration, the 250. There's a lot of different things going on. So if I don't expect it to rain, let's just leave it at that. So we don't have to worry about a rain date. All right. But just wanted to clear that up because we did get a couple questions on that. People knew that we were putting the money up. So appreciate it.
All right, and then we'll do the golf cart for council for the parade.
Council has golf carts here. Susan did that for the golf carts rather than let the horse take a rest and we'll go.
All right, any other old
Well,
business?
now, Ed's here. He can say about the flea market and all. So.
You want to come up? No. Okay.
Give us my address, but say Clifton Heights Port Light Association.
Mhm.
I guess this year's a little bit tougher because, the prices went up, so I had to do a little bit of, we're getting the prices down, but looks like we're on track for getting everything done. We're gonna do the flea market. I've got about 25 vendors on Marple. You said the parade should go smoothly. I guess Potter House is going to have a 40-man float up and down the parade, so they're going to have a nice float. We got a dance studio. We'll do some dance, some for the parade and all that stuff. So it should be good. It should be good, like I said. It was a little bit tougher this year. Since we have parking, everybody, we're trying to be raise funds for all this. But I get a heads up, the residential flyer is going to be out by this weekend. I take a little time trying to get the best price for the flyer. Because, we're really high on the price, so I got to cut in half on some printers, so I save a little money there. So just be aware of that, and it'll be out by hopefully by Monday. All right, any questions on that?
Yeah, we're good.
Appreciate all your efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Any other old business? Right. Any new business? We will do closing public participation. Anyone who would like to come up and address, please give your name and address.
Bonnie Callahan, 235 Wood Beach. Any status on 7 sewer lateral?
As soon as we get the final JP, I know he was out there and I know he was a dip in the line. I know he's doing the measurements and
Yeah, we'll work with the contractor to get that finalized. So as far as the limits of restoration.
So do you have is it going to be this summer? Is it going to be?
I expect this summer.
But you don't have an idea of the start date or?
No, I don't, but I would say 4 weeks, 6 weeks in that neighborhood.
Okay.
as soon as we get it, we'll,
Anyone else?
And let me be real clear, there's nothing wrong with Donnie, the line's being replaced as a precautionary for future. There's nothing wrong with the line. It's being checked, it flows, has a small dip in it. We're also evaluating whether we can either just get the dip out of it or replace the entire line. So there's nothing seriously wrong with it.
I understand that, but you send letters out to people, they get themselves all upset. You have a woman who just died, her daughter's freaking out, my daughter-in-law's freaking out.
I think the letter stated that we're going to be having to work in the driveway for the evaluation of the system. We did not say we were doing the work.
Follow-up. That's why I'm asking.
I just followed up. I mean, I don't know, it'll happen when it happens, but there's no seriousness there. And I think,
You know, they're on vacation, they come home and they can't get down their
there's
driveway.
not, first of all, I've said this
Yeah.
as much as I can
I'm
say.
just asking.
Hold on a second. There's nobody that's not going to get into their driveway, their house. It'll be restored every day, just like Springfield Road is restored every day. So there's nobody that's going to happen. So I don't know how much more clear I can be about it.
Okay, I saw the designs of the plan for the
Name and address,
storm.
please.
Oh, Mike Humphreys, 35 Arch Street, Clifton Heights. Saw the storm plan, the storm water plans for where the old house is up there, that we're gonna turn it into a parking lot. I mentioned it once before. You're gonna be doing a big project up there, you know, taking down the house, everything else. You got your sign up there for the Slinky. I'd like to see a town clock put in the corner of that parking lot, like 90% of the towns in Delaware County have. You know what I'm talking about. And I don't want to hear that Lombardo's got one up the street. A nice orange, maybe orange and black, put a ram's head on top, something like that. You know, Clifton Heights Sparrow, and it's right across from the sign, you know, Clifton Heights Sparrow, I think a town clock would look good there. Okay?
I'll tell you what, Mike, why don't we have it, why don't we raise funds for it? And we'll see, we'll do it that way.
Well,
We'll pick
it's
up
an
the-
idea, you know, if you
We'll
guys
apply
could look up
for a
how
grant.
much one of them things cost, you know? I know it's gotta be a piece of change, but I'd like it's something I think that would be nice.
Let me
for
see if
the
I can,
borough.
let me see if I can get a grant for it.
Yeah, okay. But
I
right
agree
in
with
the corner of that parking lot, I think that would be great. I don't know if that's where you're thinking of putting the Slinky sign, or you're gonna move that out somewhere. You know?
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
idea. Support it.
That's it, just something to keep on the back burner there. You got the funds, you know?
Make you the clock,
Okay.
clock.
All right.
Right.
Anyone else? All right, then I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Ms. Borelli made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Gorman,
They said
second.
Williams Lombardo.
It's already there, isn't it?
That's different. Town back with that.
I know what you're saying.
That's what he mentioned.
Maybe we'll get Joe to donate his and put it up there.